Hi, I'm Marley, and welcome to Marley Hughes. Tonight, or whenever I'm publishing this, we're going to be looking at all of these. I've gotten carried away over the past few days, and I've bought a bunch of old CD software stuff. These include, but not limited to, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Cosmopolitan Virtual Makeover, 3D Ultra Pinball Creep Night, Microsoft Encoder from 1994, an Encyclopedia Britannica CD from around 1999, Multimedia Edition, America Online's Graphics Suite, and a VeggieTales CD. It's not a software, but I can't turn it down because it's VeggieTales. But for now, we're going to be looking at a series of CDs I've collected. These include the TIME Multimedia Almanacs, the Gwalior encyclopedias, and Tom Clancy video games. So these are all the things we're going to be looking at in the next few days, along with these eventually. But in the meantime, let's look at the TIME Multimedia Almanacs, or alternatively, TIME Multimedia Almanac and TIME Almanac of the 20th Century. I can't really tell the difference from the outside between these two. They were both published in 1995, and everything kind of looks the same, but I don't know. But we're gonna get to looking at it today. Let's start with the TIME Multimedia Almanac and Multimedia Journey Through the 7 Decades of Time. Yeah, this was in 1995. I think TIME is going to be celebrating their 100th anniversary this decade. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's published by Softkey, by the way. In the back, TIME Magazine Multimedia Almanac, designed for Windows 95, works with Windows 3.1, and Multimedia Journey Through 7 Decades of Time. Oh my god. History springs to life with the most complete multimedia reference available anywhere. From the Roaring Twenties to the dawn of the new millennia, the award-winning journalists and photographers of time have chronicled the joys and terrors, triumphs and tragedies of a world in motion. Go behind the scenes to witness pivotal moments in the lives of the newsmakers and world shakers. The TIME Multimedia Almanac is an unrivaled reference source and learning tool. And some bullet points: more than 220,000 essential Time magazine articles of the 20th century dated back to 1923, over 30 live-action video clips from Time archives, 300 all-inclusive weekly issues from January 1989 through June 1995, hundreds of photographs, full-color maps, and profiles, over 400 tables and charts from the U.S. Statistical Abstract, and powerful full-text speech feature finds information fast. And here's a little screenshot from the software we're probably going to be looking at. On the bottom of here, the system requirements. Yep, and now we have to look at the inside of the little jewel case this came in. Yeah, that's the CD itself. Note: by inserting this disc into your CD-ROM drive, you accept the terms of the Softkey license agreement contained in the accompanying documentation. I don't know, I can't spell. Hey, look, we got 10 free hours of AOL. Wow. Awesome. A special try offer for 10 free hours. That's nice. Try the nation's most exciting online service free. Easy access to the internet, including the web. Really? Follows to download and export products. Oh, I thought I said export. Never mind. Anyway, global email and thousands of special internet interest forums, news and top magazines, stocks, quotes, weather, exciting online events, and much more. Sign on now. It just takes a few easy steps. Step 1, open Compton's Interactive Encyclopedia. Step 2, click on the online button at the bottom of the path bar. And step 3, click on Proceed. Questions about connecting? Call this number. And here's a little product key. I'm not going to censor out because I don't honestly care about this. Anyway, I think this does the little booklet and the little time, yeah. Dear customer, thank you for purchasing a CD-ROM from Softkey. We hope you have many hours of entertainment and learning from your new CD-ROM. With your registration of this product, you are entitled to receive the Softkey catalog, enabling you to purchase other Softkey products at discounted prices. To register, call these numbers. For technical support, call these numbers, and On the inside of this, I think it's just going to tell us how to install this stuff because we're too stupid. Oh no, it's just some licensing agreements. Alright, so that is the Multimedia Almanac, the TIME Multimedia Almanac. We're gonna be looking at this, and then after that, we're gonna be looking at the, what is it over here, the TIME Almanac of the 20th century, which I don't think will be much different, but here goes the Multimedia Almanac.
Alright, so here we go. So first off, I tried to install the Time Almanac on my computer, my main operating system, and of course, as you can see in a second, it doesn't work, so that's scratched, so we can't run it on my main operating system. However, I am able to run this to a virtual machine, as you're about to see. So here's the install, and I can't really read much of this because, well, this installation goes by way too fast for me to read, but so anyway, that's the installation. Let's open up the Multimedia Almanac. And yeah, it does quite a bit of stuff you can do in this thing. Let me zoom in a few seconds, but you can do many kind of topics you can pick from this Multimedia Almanac. The first one we're going to be looking at is the, I think, Earth Day thing. Yeah, it's called Earth Day, and one of them is like some kind of little slideshow of everything about Earth Day. This is just going to be read through. Some ferrets, I think. Yeah, it was all about Earth and stuff in the late 20th century. Environmental crisis, other comebacks, total population, air pollution, toxic releases, and the front cover, I think. Yeah, that's all of the update stuff for the little slideshow. But anyway, of course, with this being a multimedia almanac, there's going to be a bunch of activities and stuff. You can play videos, for example. Here's one of them.
Since Earth Day, an
Oh, never
environmental
mind. Well,
report
it's still
card.
sound, but it's not. It's still kind of like
Natural
slideshow kind of
forces
thing,
change the
but with
environment.
like kind of voiceovers.
Technology changes the environment. People change the environment.
Oh,
In the
Richard Nixon changed the
1970
environment? I
State
had
of
no
the Union
idea.
address, Richard.
So here's a video.
The Exxon Valdez continues leaking oil into Prince William Sound, an estimated 1 million gallons so far, and still the cleanup has barely begun. A handful of boats and men are working to mop up an oil spill now estimated to spread over some 40 square miles.
So that's the Earth Day stuff. Well, you can also read through some small articles from this little time period. Some information. Pretty cool stuff. So that's the Earth Day stuff. The next thing I clicked on was the elections thing, which is sort of my kind of little interest. These are all the presidents that have been elected up until 1992, because of course this little multimedia almanac was released in 1995, so the 1996 election hadn't even happened yet. Although it is mentioned in a few areas, but here's all the presidents that have been elected the past century. Well, the opponents. I bet none of you knew who they are now. I think I do see Perot down there, though. That's kind of funny. On the campaign trail, all the little campaign buttons for every election. And here's all the presidents that have been elected in a slideshow. So that's the campaign trail stuff. Well, also here's a little bit of statistics of how the 1996 presidential campaigns are going. Here's all the upcoming primaries going on. So here's cyberspace. Of course, this being the late 20th century, cyberspace was this crazy, awesome, cool thing that was happening. And here's this little slideshow of all the covers of Time magazine discussing the world of cyberspace. So that's that.
A truck bomb in the heartland brought the terrible realization
I
that
went through a
America
few
has
videos,
a new breed of
because,
political monster.
There's a little
The most
kind of
deadly terrorist
portfolio
bombing in
thing
American
going on
history blew away the facade
that
of the
will allow you
9-story
to
Alfred
watch
P.
like
Murrah Federal
videos,
Building in
pictures,
Oklahoma
and
City
covers
on
and
April
everything.
19th.
And there's also some few like little maps the software has. So here's the state of Tennessee and some history of the state of Tennessee. It's pretty interesting stuff. 10,000 years ago, Tennessee was settled by prehistoric. I can't read this through the preview of this video that's being edited right now, but pretty interesting stuff. There's also this little game right here.
Welcome to News Quest, the game that challenges your knowledge of the news reported in Time magazine. You, the researcher, will uncover the words of the most notable and quotable people of the 20th century. To complete your News Quest assignment, solve the quote in all 5 categories.
Thanks, but no thanks. I think we have to move on to the Almanac of the 20th century now.
Alright, so let's look at the Time Almanac of the 20th century. It advertises if L coming with this, and it's a platinum CD. I don't know what's the difference between that CD and this CD, but whatever. Yeah, there's a JFK, looks like some famous people of the 20th century, to say the least. On the back, experience history as it happened. See the great events and people of the 20th century as recorded by Time magazine's writers and captured by photographers and filmmakers in an unfolding panorama of more than 2,000 articles, 500 photos, and 40 minutes of dramatic video. Watch history change through the pages of Time magazine with this decade-by-decade timeline. Select hot icon photos to explore the top stories of each decade, illustrated with video and photo essays. Plus, get to know the great people of the man of the century with the man of the year, which includes every man of the year cover story since 1927. Special offer of AOL. Yeah, here's a screenshot from the software we'll be looking at. It looks slightly different from the Multimedia Almanac, but yeah, that's it for that visual case. Let's see what's on the CD. There we go. Yep, here's the Time Almanac of the 20th Century disc, and we have Dear Customer, and that's the same thing as the well, actually, what's this? Oh, it's just actually telling us now how you install it. I'll just go through that a little second. Oh, the license agreement might be down here somewhere. What the freak? Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, it's telling us how to use it. That's kind of useful. I'll figure out myself. Well, on to the Almanac of the 20th century.
Alright, so here we go again. Of course, I'm watching the installation straight from Windows XP this time, and we're installing the Almanac of the 20th century. Of course, after I install it, which is very quicker than the Multimedia Almanac, I tried to install the AOL thing, but it didn't work. because it's so old. So we should go straight into the Almanac of the 20th century. So I was expecting this to be the same as the Multimedia Almanac, but this one's a little bit different actually. I don't know what that gray part is about. I think that's supposed to be some kind of menu, but anyway, you actually go through pretty much every single decade of the 20th century, from the 1900s to the 1990s, or at least the mid 90s. And there's a bunch of multimedia videos in here, so I'll just let them play.
Pat and I have the satisfaction that every dime that we've got is honestly ours. I should say this, that Pat doesn't have a mink coat.
I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Of course, with this software being released in 1995, it can only go so far. So the 1992 election was the newest election at that time.
Embracing the crowd with the message, "We are all in this together," Clinton reached out to Bush and Perot voters.
I ask you to listen to the voice of your leaders.
The Democratic candidate contends that working Americans wouldn't be hurt by his tax increases. That's a fairy tale. His plan would hurt working Americans by raising their taxes and by stifling economic growth.
Or death for them.
And there's also a bunch of old newsreels.
72 years old. His health seems excellent. His power is absolute. Before him pass thousands of his soldiers. The atmosphere in Moscow is grim, hostile. He has expelled the American ambassador. He says war with the imperial...
A very interesting thing is that they actually have a select few stuff from before time. That's a lame pun, but you can see here, it's very interesting stuff what happened 100 years ago.
This is KDKA of the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company in East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We shall now broadcast the election returns. We are receiving these returns through the cooperation and by special arrangements with the Pittsburgh Post and Sun. The election returns will be broadcast as soon as they are received by us here at KDKA. We'd appreciate it if anyone hearing this broadcast would communicate with us, as we are very anxious to know how far the broadcast is reaching.
Man, things were much smaller back then. But anyway, that's pretty much all of the Almanac of the 20th century, and that's pretty much all of the Almanac, all the multimedia almanacs we have here. They're very, very interesting. If you want to go buy them and just mess fun of them, you can do that. They're very interesting. And that's all I have to say. See you next time, and I'm out.